She posted, "Single life is better," while I was paying her rent, so I terminated the lease. I 27mm have been dating my girlfriend 25 for almost 2 years. We met through friends, clicked fast, and decided to move in together last summer. For a while, things were genuinely good. We shared the same humor, loved late-night drives, and could talk for hours. Earlier this year, she lost her job after some company layoffs. It sucked, and I wanted to be supportive. The lease was under my name, so I told her not to worry about bills until she found something new. I figured it was temporary. At first, she really seemed grateful. She was applying for jobs, helping more around the apartment, trying to stay positive. But over time, her focus shifted. From finding a job to posting, she started getting really into Instagram. Every week there was a new post. Mirror selfies, girls' nights, long captions about healing, self-love, and rediscovering her independence. I didn't think much of it at first. Losing a job can mess with your confidence. Maybe social media was her way to cope. But then, she started acting different. She'd go out more, come home later, and seemed less interested in spending time together. Conversations became surface level. Her phone was always face down. And she started dressing up like she was constantly ready for a photo shoot. What really got to me wasn't even the posts themselves. It was how they sounded like someone detached from the relationship. Like she was quietly rewriting her life without me in it. Captions like, "You can't pour from an empty cup. Learning to love myself again. Sometimes being alone is peace." The comment sections didn't help either. Random guys dropping fire emojis. "Queen energy. She's glowing." She'd reply with "thank you," or some laughing emoji. I tried to talk to her once. I said it felt weird seeing her post all these things while we were still together. She told me I was reading too much into it, that it was just a trend. I let it go. But something in my gut told me it wasn't just a trend. Weeks passed, and the emotional distance between us felt like a wall. She wasn't mean or dramatic, just absent, detached, like she was already somewhere else. Then, one afternoon, I got the confirmation I didn't know I was waiting for. I was at work when my friend sent me a screenshot of her new Instagram post. It was her at brunch with some friends holding a mimosa, smiling in the sun, captioned, "Single life is better, no context, no irony, just that." And I swear, the timing couldn't have been more perfect, because I was literally on my banking app, transferring rent money when I saw it. When I saw that post, I just sat there for a minute, staring at the screen. Not angry yet, just stunned. Like, what do you even say to that? She hadn't broken up with me. We still shared a bed, still had our names on the mailbox, still had dinner together just last night. And yet there she was, publicly declaring to 2,000 followers that single life is better. I texted her a simple, interesting post. She replied 20 minutes later with, "What do you mean?" I sent the screenshot. No caption, no commentary. Her response came fast this time. "Babe, it's just a joke. It's a TikTok trend. Everyone's doing it. Sure. A trend." The classic modern excuse for every disrespectful thing people post online. I didn't respond. I wanted to see what she'd do next. An hour later, she messaged again. "You're being weird about this. It's not that deep, but it was deep. Not because of one post, but because of what it said about how she saw our relationship, about how she saw me." When I got home that night, she was sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone like nothing happened. She looked up and said, "You're really mad, huh?" in that half-laughing tone that people use when they don't want to take responsibility. I told her I wasn't mad, just confused. Because last time I checked, she wasn't single. She rolled her eyes. "It's social media, not a contract. Chill." I asked her if she understood how it looked. That while we were living together, she was out here announcing her single life. She said I was being insecure and controlling. I didn't even raise my voice. I just asked, "If I posted something like that, how would you feel?" She didn't answer. She just said, "You wouldn't, because you don't even use social media." Then she laughed. That laugh, that's when something in me clicked. It wasn't guilt or sadness, just a calm kind of finality. Because I realized that if she could make me feel stupid for asking for basic respect, there wasn't much left to save. I went to bed early that night. Didn't argue, didn't explain myself. Just lay there, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how love can quietly die. Not with a big fight, but with a slow drip of disrespect that wears you down until you stop trying. The next morning, she acted totally normal. Made coffee, hummed while doing her makeup, kissed me on the cheek before heading out. And that's when I decided, if she wanted the single life so bad, I'd give her a head start, so that morning, after she left, I sat down with a cup of coffee and opened my laptop. Our lease was under my name, had been since the start, and renewing it was coming up soon. I checked the contract. There was an option to terminate early, with 30 days' notice. I didn't overthink it. I filled out the form, sent the notice to the landlord, and scheduled the move-out date. For the next week, I went about my days like normal. She didn't notice a thing. She was too busy planning her next girls' weekend, filming outfit videos, posting soft life quotes like, "Never settle for less than you deserve." The irony wasn't lost on me. When she talked about rent or bills, I just nodded, told her I'd take care of it, and I did, just not the way she expected. A week later, the landlord called to confirm the termination. I packed my stuff little by little, the essentials first, the rest when she wasn't around. Then one evening, I came home and found her in the living room, recording another video. She was wearing one of my shirts, hair done, talking about staying independent in your 20s. I waited until she finished before saying, "Hey, can we talk for a sec?" She smiled, distracted. "Sure, babe, what's up?" I handed her a printed copy of the lease termination. At first, she thought it was a joke. "What's this?" I said. "You said single life is better. I figured you'd want to start living it for real." Her smile vanished. "Wait, what?" I told her calmly that the lease ends in a month, and since she wasn't contributing anymore, I'd be moving out. She could figure out her own next step. She froze. Then she laughed, the kind of nervous laugh people do when they realize the situation isn't funny. "You're kidding, right?" "Nope." She started getting defensive. "You can't just do that." "Where am I supposed to go?" "I thought we were good." All the usual lines people throw out when the consequences finally catch up. I told her I wasn't mad, that she could keep all her stuff, and I'd even cover this last month. But after that, she was on her own. She accused me of being petty, proving a point, trying to punish her for a post. Maybe she was right. Maybe part of it was about proving a point, not to hurt her, but to finally stand up for myself. Because the truth is, I wasn't ending things over one Instagram caption. I was ending it because somewhere along the way, I became background noise in my own relationship. And if she wanted to live like she was single, I wasn't going to stop her. I was just removing the safety net she'd been standing on. That night, she didn't say much, just slammed the bedroom door and cried quietly. I didn't comfort her. Not this time. The next few days were tense. We barely spoke. She stopped posting for a bit, which honestly said more than anything she could have told me. At first, she acted cold, like she didn't care. Then came the emotional whiplash, the teary eyes, the "can we talk" texts, the half-hearted apologies that sounded more like excuses. One night, she sat on the couch while I was packing my books into boxes. She said quietly, "I didn't mean for things to get this bad." I told her I believed that, but intentions don't erase disrespect. She said the post wasn't serious, that she was just trying to keep her engagement up because Instagram's algorithm is brutal. I almost laughed. Imagine losing someone over an algorithm. She asked if we could try again, maybe reset once she found a new job. But the thing about resentment is, once it sets in, it doesn't just disappear. It lingers like smoke. You can clean the air, but you still smell it. I told her I wished her well, that I didn't hate her, but I couldn't unsee how easily she disrespected what we had. The next morning, she started calling her friends, trying to figure out her next move. Word got around fast. Suddenly, I was the petty ex who kicked her out over a meme. Her friends DM'd me, calling me heartless. Mine thought it was hilarious. One of them said, "You didn't dump her. You just let her live the life she's been advertising." I didn't respond to anyone. I wasn't proud or smug, just relieved. The kind of quiet peace that comes when you finally stop giving energy to someone who kept taking without realizing what it cost you. A week later, I moved my stuff out completely. I left her the bed and the couch because I didn't want to deal with another argument. When I handed the keys to the landlord, it felt like closing a chapter I'd been rereading out of habit. A few nights after that, she posted again. A mirror selfie, same apartment, captioned, "New beginnings, grateful for growth." Of course, I didn't even feel anything this time. Just scrolled past it. Funny how people love to romanticize healing after they've burned down what they built. Maybe she'll learn something from it someday. Maybe not. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. I guess that's the real peace everyone online keeps talking about. Not soft lights and matcha lattes, but finally being done with someone who never really saw you in the first place. A week after the lease drama, everything finally settled. Well, mostly. The first few days were a circus. She called me nonstop. I'm talking back-to-back calls, dozens of texts, Voice messages full of "how could you" and "you ruined my life." Apparently, her TikTok followers were sending her DMs asking what happened, because she'd suddenly disappeared from her apartment aesthetic videos. She tried to twist the story into, "my ex kicked me out because I was too independent." Cute. Except, I had the receipts when she started posting vague "men are so insecure" tweets. One of my friends, the same one who helped me move her stuff, commented with a screenshot of her last rent receipt. My name clearly visible. That comment got traction fast. Suddenly, her narrative fell apart. People were asking how independence looked like when your ex's paycheck covers your rent and groceries. She deleted everything within hours. Then came the "we need to talk" phase. She wanted to clear the air, stay friends, make sure we end things on a good note. Yeah, no. I told her she could collect the rest of her belongings from my friend's garage, and that was it. No coffee, no closure talk. She didn't like that. Her final act of desperation? Posting an old photo of us with the caption, "Sometimes you have to lose what you thought was perfect to find yourself again." The comments were brutal. People calling her out, saying, "Girl, you lost your free rent, not your soulmate." It's been about 2 months now. I moved into a smaller place, just mine. No second toothbrush on the sink. No random Amazon packages showing up for her brand collabs. I cook what I want. I leave the dishes overnight if I feel like it, and I've started sleeping like a rock. Peace really is underrated. Last I heard, she's crashing at a friend's place and trying to get her own apartment. But apparently no landlord wants to take her because her income doesn't meet the minimum requirement without a cosigner. I almost felt bad for her. But then I remembered the "single life is better" caption and how it made me look like a fool in front of thousands of strangers while I was breaking my back to keep a roof over her head. So yeah, maybe it was petty to terminate the lease so fast. Maybe I could have handled it more maturely. But you know what? Sometimes being mature just means not letting yourself be a doormat again. And for anyone wondering if I regret it, not for a second. The irony? She texted me last week asking if I could be a reference for her next rental application. I left her on red.